Greetings to you all, and welcome back to final preparations of Octopath Traveler with me, Artiga Omega. Let's crack on. This is not going to be the most exciting thing you've ever seen in your life, but needs must. Let's make sure everyone has the correct weapons to begin. So Alafin should probably have the best everything, except bow. Hannet has the best bow. Fantastic. Alfin should have the best sword. She does. The best spear, which he does. He should have the best dagger. I'm sorry. But at the end of the day, Prim doesn't have any strength. Prim probably uses the speed and the chance to poison better, whereas Alfin just wants brute force. Best axe, he's got it. And the most physical staff is also the best magical staff, which is a bit of a problem. So instead we've got this 187 staff, which can slightly be bettered, but I don't mind having a little bit of elemental attack. Might come in useful. Okay, you should have the second best sword. You do. You are perfect. You should have the best wand. You do. And just the best of the remaining equipment. Very nice. You have a good magical weapon. And the right dagger. Okay, perfect. Next. Shields. So which of the 4 shields are we going to use? Well, obviously this one. Someone should have this, and I think the certain someone is going to be Tressa. Restoring HP and SP is very useful. At the very least, Tressa needs to gain SP. Although, now that I think about it... Let me ponder a bit more. Of our remaining shields... What am I even using? I'm using a night shield, isn't that quite old? Not too old, I suppose. So Forbidden Shield is just straight up the most defense I've got, followed by Force Shield. Then it gets a bit sketchy. Although, in all honesty, Night Shield is my next best. That's about 200. That's also about 200. Not much in it, really. Okay, I'm using the correct 4 shields, but who gets what? Keeping Alf alive is the most important thing we can do. We suggest that Alf should probably have the best shield. Which he already has. Great. Then I would actually like Prim to have the mana restoration. Oh, would I? Yeah, I would. Now you may be thinking that's a strange move, because... Isn't Tressa's mana restoration more important? Well, I'm going to make sure Tressa gets some mana restoration, don't you worry. From somewhere, just not from the shield. She is going to need mana restoration, but so is Prim. They both need it at some point. So that's fine. I would then give Tressa the next best shield, I think. Leaving Hannet with the weakest shield. Okay, what have we got for helmets? The one that gives elemental attack obviously goes on Tressa. This has a total of 180, this has 230, so that's just better. So is that. I have 2 of those. So these are the correct 4 helmets to be using. And everything's already in the correct place where I want it. Great. Now, when it comes to body armor, what have we got? We have one that gives elemental attack, one that gives crit, and one that restores HP. So Prim definitely doesn't need the HP, we know that. Has a total of 400, that's actually really low, stat-wise. Again, I think I'm already using the correct 4 armors, but they're in the wrong positions. So you should have the best, and you do. Whereas, who should have... There's no point giving you Princess Coat. if you've already got the battle-tested shield. Does that mean I give it to Tressa, or does that mean... No, okay, we will do this swap. It's fine. Confusing myself a little bit, but we'll swap the shields around. And then you can keep the princess coat. So now Prim and Tressa both have passive healing. That's fine, and then out of the others, Tressa has the offensive one, Hannet has the defensive one. Okay, very good. Now, how do I unequip? I'm going to unequip all of my accessories and decide who gets what. So first things first. Tressa needs a source of mana restoration, and she has it. Prim also needs a source of mana restoration, and she does not have it. There is an item that does that. You get one of those. Alfin also frequently runs out of mana. Surprising, but he does. You're going to need that. With that out the way, let's have a look at what we've got. Don't want that or that. Out of that. That is okay, but not fantastic. That is okay, but not fantastic. That is good. That is obviously better. Just getting a feel for what we've got here. It's quite by the numbers, this stuff. Okay, so we've got resistance to every different element, resistance to every ailment, and then just straight stats. And up here we have the oddities, I guess we'll call them. So the most defensive one probably belongs on you, my good man, which was the 100-100. The one that gives the most elemental attack is the 65, I think. Elemental attack and elemental defense. Which means you definitely want that. Alfred's done, yes? Yes. So, is anything else here physical? That's very weak. That's only 50. That's definitely one of the things I'm using, the 80-80. The 50-50 probably goes on as well. If I'm being honest, that's 2 slots. 4 slots left. I know this is a lot of awkward planning, but just bear with me. Tressa is kind of my glass cannon going to blow people up. I don't think I need to restore HP every turn. It's not going to do very much for her. Giving her flat 1000 HP might be better. I think I'm okay with giving that to Prim. Which means Hannah has free choice of anything that's left. It's probably that, surprisingly. Outside of that, the best thing I've got is probably these elemental specific amulets, but how am I going to know what I'm against? It's either the 50 physical attack, which I don't think matters that much on Hannet now because most of her damage comes from runes. So I'm going to give her the 1000 HP as well. Okay, that's that done. Next, things are going to get a bit weird. Also, I'm going to strip people of some of their items because I didn't plan this through. So one thing I think I mentioned a long time ago is that when it comes to support skills, you can equip support skills from classes you're not currently accessing. For example, my Tressa is a merchant and a sorcerer, yet is using the scholar ability, evasive maneuvers, and elemental augmentation. What this means is I can make people learn jobs that they are not in order to learn support skills that are going to be helpful in their final jobs. Complicated stuff. With that in mind, I've actually gone through all of the support skills because I have access to them all. Between my 4 characters, every single support skill is available. I've maxed out every job at some point in the game, and I've decided what is my favourite for everyone. With that in mind, let's sort people out. So we'll start with the obvious ones. Alfin needs physical prowess. That is obvious. It is as obvious as Tressa needing augmented elements, because they are my main damage dealers, and that's what they do. Beyond this, I think, and I may be wrong, I may be overvaluing this, if we're being completely honest. I think The Show Goes On is absolutely fantastic. You can debate me if you want, but I think it's really good, so I'm going to keep it. Now, what do we want beyond this? Now things start to get a little more complicated. Who should we start with? Who's the simplest? Don't understand. One thing I'd like to point out, first of all, then, is Hannet's patience. It's a 25% chance to act again at the end of the turn. Taking an additional turn is unbelievably amazing in this game, because it is so flexible. If you think about what taking an extra turn does, although you'll probably be out of BP, you can use a move like... I can't remember what it's called. The bow skill that attacks multiple times. Rain of Arrows, or Arrow Storm. And so against an enemy with a weakness to bows, that one extra turn could potentially be another 5 hits to his vulnerability counter. So against a very tough boss, having an extra turn is amazing, because if you can keep the enemy constantly broken, the fight is 100 times easier. And nothing is going to help you break the boss like patience. And it's also so flexible, you can use your patience turn to use items as well, for example, to heal up the team, to revive fallen allies. It's just... you can do so much with patience. You could leg hold trap the enemy to make your rest of your teammates act sooner the next turn. You could speed up some of your allies. You could do anything. It's so good. I honestly think patience is one of the best abilities in the entire game. And generally I don't like RNG abilities. 25% chance to act. So 75% of the time it does nothing. But I think it's amazing. And you want to know how good I think it is? Watch. Just watch. It's alright, I have a lot of JP. This is how good I think patience is as an ability. Because now, on average, and it is only an average, one of my teammates will get a turn. Every turn. An extra turn. Every turn. And that is fantastic. Alright, what else do I think I need? So with Hannet, I believe Hannet's main strength now comes from her runes. The runes let her empower her own weapon, so that she does an incredible amount of bonus damage when she attacks. And her ultimate ability, if I just put her back in... Oh, she's still in Rune Lord. her ultimate ability... sorry, her transfer rune ability, not her ultimate ability. Skills that normally target yourself alone will target your allies as well. I believe means I can multicast these onto everyone. So if I transfer rune myself first, and then I do, let's say, light rune, I will give light rune to everyone. And if that's correct, that's crazy. So I'm going to assume that's correct. And I'm going to put all my eggs in one basket down the elemental rune line for Hannet. And what that means is, because this is a buff, a very important buff, and this is a buff, a very important buff, what's going to help Hannet the most is if that buff lasts one extra turn. And I believe you've already danced for me, Hannet. Not quite enough. The show goes on for Hannet. I think it's good. I think people will get angry at me for both of these, because people probably say these aren't good enough compared to some of the abilities that you unlock with the ultimate classes, but I think they're incredibly good. Okay. Good start. Off then. Now, like I say, I went through all of the options before I switched the recording on. And certain things that you might think are good, I decided aren't quite good enough. So, Alfin has this ability, which lets him regain SP. I decided it just wasn't good enough, because Alfin doesn't want to waste his time attacking. He wants to spend his turn doing his fancy abilities. With that in mind, it's just not a great ability. In fact, I didn't think any of these abilities he had was particularly good. Instead, I want him to have an ability that Tressa has. An interesting one. This one, Hang Tough. So I was torn between Hang Tough, which is the ability to not die if your HP is not critical, and Encore, which is the revive the first time you die in battle. Because Hang Tough can be used repeatedly throughout a fight, multiple times, and I'm predicting a particularly nasty final boss, I would rather have the ability that I can get repeated usage out of. So that is Survive, I'm going to call it. It's actually called Hang Tough, I call it Survive, rather than Revive. So that means I want some people to learn some merchant skills. Surprising, I know, but here we are. How are we doing for JP? Might not be able to afford all of this. Might have to rethink. It suits you, Alfin. It really does. Wait, learn first. How much is it? 600... Oh, it's only the third. Okay, that's quite cheap then. It's only 1500, 1600, 1610, I think, if we're being precise, to get Hang Tough. And I think it's really good. It's not just a line that says, you deal more damage. So lots of people are probably going to hate it. But I think it's good. I think some people have better options, so I'm not getting it on everyone. I'm just going to get it on these two, because these two are my kind of healers. I know Prim isn't really a healer anymore. What the hell is wrong with you, Prim? Look at her. Look. What kind of outfit is that? I know Prim isn't really a healer anymore, but I don't know. I always play defensively with her. Prim and Alfin tend to survive the most, and then bring the team back to life. It's only through items with Prim nowadays, but still. There we have it. Right, what other abilities do we have? I think this ability is quite interesting, because I want to keep Prim alive. I actually think it might be the best choice for her. So this ability lets you heal over the maximum. And because people, like Prim, have natural regeneration going on every turn, and she also has the regeneration ability that she can cast for the team, I think she should be able to get her HP up quite high, and that will help her survive in the first place. And because I value Prim's ability to survive over other things, I'm going to do that. And we're going to say Prim is complete. Hannet. There is something very good for damage here, right? Gain augmented elemental attack and defense in battle. Yes, that's perfect for the runes. Finally, I'm taking some stuff that's just damage. Great. Now I think for Tressa this is good. I think it's probably her best option on paper, but it's so irritating to run out of mana that I'm still going to take half mana. If you're trying to be fully optimal, I think you should probably take Elemental Aid. But I can't stand it. As for her final slot, there are some choices here, and I don't know which is better in all honesty. I could give her Stronger Strikes, which makes her do increased damage against the weak points, or I could give her the same Elemental Edge that Hannet had. And it's hard to know what's the best. In fact, there's another one over here. BP Eater. When your skill's boosted, you do bonus damage. Probably not as good because everyone's got patience. But out of Elemental Edge and Stronger Strikes, I don't know which is better. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to find out. That's right, we're going to do some experimentation on the fly. You need to become a Rune Lord. Learn some very expensive skills, but you're alright, you're Tressa. You have more JP than anyone. Of course, it's right at the bottom, isn't it? Elemental Edge, yes it is. So I'm going to set Tressa back to being a sorcerer. And I'm going to equip her with Stronger Strikes. We're going to go and attack something with Tressa, hitting its weak point. Something a bit beefier. Let's go to a level 45 area. I'm going to go here because I want the forest of level 58 at some point as well. The team's going to be a right shambles at the minute. People aren't going to have weapons equipped. It's going to be a mess. But that's not what we're here for. We're here to experiment. Did I just walk back into town? Fantastic. Please engage me. Fine, I'm going to start walking in this direction. I knew that would provoke them. Okay, so this weird dragon thing is not going to be my target because I can't actually strike its weakness. Because it doesn't have any elemental weaknesses. What a helpful target. Come on, please fight me with something normal. That counts as normal.
I'm ready.
Okay, so here's the deal. We're going to attack Flatland's Frog King 1 with an ice attack. We're going to see what happens.
What next?
You can really see Alfin's physical defense. It's kind of crazy, but I like it. Okay, make a note of the average damage here against the Frog King 1s. It deals around about 635 damage-ish. Now, we are going to equip in its place Elemental Edge. And we'll see how the damage compares. Which means I will soon be running in circles until I fight some frogs. Be gone, you unfrog creature. Prim, why are you suddenly so quick? Why am I so bad at running on the edges of places? Come on, I need to hit a frog. Post haste. They're too far evolved. We need them to go back to being land dwellers. Like the way the tree rendered in and out of existence there, that was good. I can watch the little red hexagonal lights dance in the background.
I'm ready.
Alright, more damage or less? It's time to find out.
Coming. Here goes nothing.
My turn now.
So, exactly the same move with exactly the same equipment against exactly the same enemy. Our damage has increased. We have therefore concluded that the ability that deals bonus damage when you target the enemy's weak point is awful. Good to know. Tressa is happy with what she's got, which is preferable because this also gives a defense bonus, which means this is awful. I mean, really awful. Because this does less damage than Elemental Edge, and no defensive benefit. Great. I suppose the only saving grace is that this works for physical attacks as well as elemental, but I don't care. That's that one done. Okay. What do we got left? Alfin. So Alfin has much the same choice to make here. Should he get the thing that increases his damage when he uses boost? Or should he get the thing that increases damage against the enemy's weak point? Can he even afford these things? So if I changed his job to that of the boost one is a Stasia. Wait, I can't even see this the way it is. Let me get my actual Stasia back. BP Eater is the third ability. Do I care about damage on Alfin? Or do I care about Alfin's survivability more? It's not an easy question, you know? Once again, I don't know how much damage it would even increase me by. And this is the problem. You know, I have Tressa for the damage. I have Hanit for the damage. I think Alfin and Prim should probably play more defensively. With that in mind, I would like you to learn the Overheal ability. And that is you also done. So now I have two members of my team that can heal up through the roof. And I have two units in my team that are going for the big damage. Now then, what else do you want? Hanit, how much JP do you have? 10,000. You can learn something. What do we think is going to be better for Hanit? How is Tressa's phrased? Augmented elements. Let's read the skill. How is it phrased? It's probably best for Hannet as well. She's already got elemental edge, and by the same logic, it's going to be better to have augmented elements than it is to have the weak point ability. Which means I want you to learn this. Which means I need you to become a sorceress. Momentarily. Looking good. I think you literally have just enough. Fantastic. Now this might not be the best setup the board's ever seen, but this is my setup, and this is what I'm going for. Let me assign the jobs at long last for the final time. That's not the job. Why can I not identify what sorcerer looks like? It's got the pointy hat, that's the one. Yes, gold. Gold is a higher class of ability. War Master bears the chest. Now everybody's equipment is going to be all messed up. We'll quickly fix this. Your spear and bow didn't change, great. Let's stop at the Alfin, make sure he's got the best of everything. Yup, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. That's correct. As is that. You have the best bow, good axe, the second best sword, good spear, good bow. You should have the rune glaive, and you have your good dagger still. Okay, everybody is equipped the way I want them to be. Next. Hannet is missing, I believe, one beast. I think she can have 6 plus Lender. It might be 7 plus Lender, but I'm going to catch one beast. And I'm going to do it here because this is the highest level area, being 58. I'm going to catch whatever is in the first encounter and just hope it has some variety. The stuff I've captured up to this point is either very strong or good enough, so I will keep everything else. Manticore, he looks menacing. We're going to have to be cautious with these guys. I don't want to blow them off the face of the earth.
I am ready. Pierce our blows.
Bring it on.
I suppose what we can do is we can ask Hannet which monster is more powerful, because she will know. He's a solid 7. He's a solid 8. Alright, we're going for one of these chaps back here then. Someone remove the Manticore.
Bring it on.
Oh, the patience turns. Look at them. They're so beautiful.
Letting the hunt begin.
I am ready.
Honestly, I just kind of want the snakes to wake up at this point so that I can beat them back down again. And I see Prim overhealing. I like that. Look at that. So green, bright and big.
Here I go.
I'm not above spamming out something with a 4% success rate.
Here we go.
Right, there's no point damaging this yet. Let it wake up and then we'll damage it again.
Here goes nothing.
Okay, careful, people.
Let's do this.
Tressa, don't annihilate it. Just do this.
Letting the hunt beginning.
I am ready.
This shouldn't kill.
Pierce our throes.
Very good. No extra turns? What is this? It's madness.
Let's do this.
Letting the hunt begin. Holding back nothing.
Still only yellow HP. We could increase our odds further.
Here goes nothing.
And we probably will in upcoming turns.
What next? All right.
Let's do this.
I'm a little concerned our damage is getting too high. I kind of want to weaken Tressa somehow.
I am ready.
Alright, alright. Know your limits.
Letting my arrow fly and true.
I am ready. I am ready.
Prim, you need to understand. I don't want you to do anything, alright? Just wait. Actually, Alfin should mix a double hit wind. That's what I should do. My mistake.
Letting the hunt beginning.
Never mind. We're there.
All right.
Good work, people. Bring it down.
Ha, try again.
Hanet is prepared and ready. Tressa's ready, and so is Alfin, I think. Ah, no, wait, Alfin. Where was Alfin's final quest? Well, that's a challenging question. Where the hell was it? Was it Orwell? I think it was Orwell. I want to buy some components for Alfin before we set out. So Tressa doesn't need any prep. Hanet is now done. Alfin needs as many components as I can afford. This town doesn't have them. Maybe I'll put the town in Alfin's wedge. I honestly just can't remember which town was Alfin's final town. Well, I think it was Orwell. So I would have expected it to have some apothecary herbs. And this place has got some. Only aggressive ones, though. But sure, we'll have some of these. Okay. I guess get some more. Right. I want to find the restorative ones. Well, maybe I'll go to a friendlier place. Grandport's quite friendly. Let's try there. No. What is everywhere obsessed with injury? Does no one want to cure anyone anymore? What about Saints Bridge? It's not a level 45 town, but it's a clericy kind of town. It's an apothecary town. That's what I want, right? Potent large. Yes, that's it. Okay, great. And I want lots of this. This is my main heal. Sure. Give it to me. Right, Alfin's ready. Only one thing left. I've been thinking about this old man for a long time. Prim needs a companion. And a long, long time ago, I'm talking 50 hours of gameplay ago. we stumbled across an old man who was suspiciously strong. And I think I've found stronger since, but I don't care. I'm having this old man. Get the hell out of my way, pauper.
Letting us beginning. Letting my arrow
Linda,
fly.
remove this thing from my sight.
Miss it me. Letting my arrow fly and true.
Thank you, Linda.
Thou didst fight with courage.
This is my target. Suspiciously strong old man. I don't know why I remember this guy being as strong as he was, but I remember him for so long. And I will have him. Oh, why? Yes, I am. You think you can dodge me at 10%? I've captured things with 3%. Oh, I'll be back. Don't you worry, the pub's right here. You there, barkeep. I've made a mistake. Oh, it's dirt cheap in this town, too. That's right, tell everyone that I'm a lovely person. Thank you. Excuse me, I'm back. Now, where were we? I believe I was in the middle of flirting with you. Give in to temptation. You're not fooling anyone. I know what you want. Attaboy. The team is ready. We are equipped. We have the skills. Everyone's bonus ability has been taken advantage of in the best way I can think of. Hannah doesn't need the in, does she? No, she doesn't. I was going to end the video over here in Ripple-Tide, but that doesn't make any sense. On reflection. I'm going to end it outside the gate. For in the next episode, we shall be entering the Gate of Finis, our final quest. Every side quest we have not completed, to hell with them. We're venturing into what I assume is the point of no return. And this game's ultimate boss. But that, my friends, is a story for another day. Hopefully you'll join me for that. And I shall see you then.